Good morning, students. Myself Rupinder Kaur, and today we are going to start with the same chapter, the Regional Kingdoms Part 1. As we have talked earlier about the North Indian rulers and the Deccans, so today we are going to start with the South Indian rulers. There were three powerful kingdoms in the south, the Pallavas, the Pandyas, and the Cholas. There was a constant struggle for supremacy amongst them. Nowadays, just like America wants to be the superpower in the whole world. Let's begin with the Pallavas. As you have read in your 6th grade as well about the Pallavas, so they became very powerful in the 7th and 8th centuries. Their capital was the city of Kanchi. They built many beautiful temples of stones. In the 9th century, the Cholas defeated the Pallavas and ended their rule. Moving up further were the Pandyas. The Pandyas ruled the region around present-day Madurai. It was an important center of learning. Marco Polo visited the Pandyas kingdom. He has left a detailed account of his visit. This kingdom declined in the 14th century. Moving up next is the Cholas. Cholas established a powerful empire in South India. That is why they were known as Imperial Cholas. Tanjore, now called Tanjore, was their capital. Vijayalaya was the first Chola ruler. Parantaka I conquered Madurai from Pandyas. He was, however, defeated by Rashtrakuta's king Krishna III in the Battle of Tekkolam in 949. After this, Raja Chola came into existence. He was also called as Raja I and also known as King of Kings. He was a brilliant commander. He built a strong navy to control trade along the coastal areas. He defeated the Pandyas and the Cheras. After him, Rajendra Chola, who was the son of Raja, his army defeated the Cheras, the Chalukyas, and marched as far as north as modern-day West Bengal, where he defeated the Palas. His most daring campaign was in Southeast Asia. The successors of Rajendra Chola continued to fight against the neighboring kingdoms. Rajendra Chola called himself Gangai Konde Chola, which means one who has conquered places up to the river Ganga. After this, there were some cultural achievements made by the Cholas. The first one was temples. Cholas were great temple builders. Most of their temples were built in Dravidian style. The Brideshwara temple at Thanjavur is the finest example of Chola architecture. Moving up next is sculpture. The Cholas also excelled in the making images of gods and goddesses. The bronze image of Lord Shiva as Nataraja, Lord of Dance. Even you have seen the statue of Nataraja at most of the places. It was familiar nowadays. Is one of the finest specimens. These images were either of stone or made up of bronze. Moving up next is language and literature. The period witnessed the growth of regional languages such as Tamil, Telugu, and Kannada. Many literary works were translated into these languages. Apart from this, administration was there. The kingdom was divided into provinces called mandalams, looked after by governors. Just like nowadays, mandalams were further divided into numerous valandus. Each valandus consisted of a number of villages. Even there was village assemblies. Local self-government was special features of Chola administration. So we can imagine that our government or the policies were already existed in the ancient time as well. Villages enjoyed freedom in their own affairs. Each village had two assemblies, the Yur and the Sabha. The former was the general assembly of the village, the latter was a gathering of all male adults of the village. Apart from this, there was agrarian expansion in the Tamil region. As the population was growing, so they have some expansions in the agriculture field. More area was brought under cultivation. First, a lot of barren and forest land was made fit for cultivation. Second, irrigation facilities were expanded to new areas according to the needs. The temples took the lead in both. Another important development was growth of crafts and increase in trade between far-flung areas throughout Tamil region. Last but not the least, new philosophies and bhakti. Many new religious sectors arose in this period. Basava founded the Lingayata sector in the 12th century. Shankaracharya preached the Advaita philosophy. Ramanujan and Madhava were the other religious reformers of the time. Due to these saints, the doctrine of bhakti or devotion to God became very popular in the south. With this, thank you so much. See you soon.